George Pickens was basically asked, why do people think you're only a contested catch guy? And his response was funny. I can't believe that this didn't make more headlines or get more pub. He basically said, bro, I'm excited to run better plays. But then you heard and saw what Schotty's doing early. You can't help but be excited. Let's listen to George Pickens for a second.
A lot of people typecast you as a contested catch guy, down the field guy. You talk about your route tree and everything you can do. Are you excited to expand that and do more than just be a deep ball guy?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to run better plays for sure. Yeah.
Better plays, George? So you saying you weren't used right last year? Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Foots the King as always. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Quick housekeeping note. I want to give a shout out to my bro and my sis. They had Mina Kimes on the show. That's a win for the YouTube community. Getting somebody from, a network like ESPN. You guys make sure you go show some love. They talked about the offense. It was a really good episode. And, for what they're building over there, I think that's really dope. You guys know that's family. And then, like I said, I'm going to keep shouting out Vosh Lombardi. Vosh has been sending me videos. Like, that's my bro. That's the family. That's the homie. And I'm really happy to see him just out there working with Brian, working with Cowboys Break. Wins, man. Wins. When my circle wins, we all win. Let's get to the notes, man. The insight into the offense. Brian Schottenheimer had this to say about really, how he wants to call offense. He hates a stagnant offense. He doesn't want there to be a lack of movement. Let's listen to him, guys.
I think, being static as an offense makes it easier on the defense. These defenses, you listen to our defense out there, Clarence, the way they communicate is elite, and so if we just line up in a certain formation, we kind of let them see things. It's easy for them to not only make their calls, their close right or left calls, moving their fronts, setting their fronts, but actually there's tendencies. Everybody goes into a game defensively with tendencies that in this personnel grouping, in this formation, based on where the back is, I'm making up 70% run and 30% pass. Well, really good linebackers and really good defenses that communicate well, there's tells. So when you shift or change the picture or you motion, it helps disguise that a little bit. And then, of course, when you're using your motions, they're very different. Your motions make them adjust on the run. Shifts, they generally can, what we say, reload the front. So if you shift, the defense can reload. But when you motion, they can't because you're snapping the ball on the run. So we have those. We like those. Right now we're playing around with some of the ones that we believe that we'll use, but we change them up pretty regularly.
It's good stuff. And translation, what does that mean, right? The thing about motion, tear motion, orbit motion, at snap motion, it makes the defense communicate. It makes the defense switch. It makes the defense be right. And I think that there are times you can get carried away, and I'll be honest, like if you look at Miami, a lot of times they were just motioning to put something behind it. Year one, Mike McDaniel, in that scheme, it hit. Year two, didn't have the same effect. I think when you motion, there's two things you want to do. And this is me in my coaching background and just kind of like what I know about football. Obviously, Brian Schottenheimer's been around the game before I was born. But what I know about football is this. You're motioning to get information. Are they in man? Are they in zone? And then number two, you're motioning to, number one, see what comes behind it and actually use the motion to gain an advantage. If you're going to run Ceedee in jet motion, you need to give him the jet. You need to actually make the defense run sideline to sideline. And Ceedee talked about this much today. But then if they start overreacting to that jet motion, okay, now you can hit them, behind. You can get behind them with a Ferguson over or play action off of it. All of those things making the defense communicate, making the defense overcompensate for the motion, and then you throw something behind it. So you're gaining information, and then you're also gaining an advantage, whether it's leverage, you're changing up their looks. If you are trying to get angles and you want to use this team's speed, Turpin, Ceedee, guys like that, then you motion and you do those things, and I think Brian Schottenheimer understands it. And I'm glad that he's not running from it or he's not scared to show it early. Doesn't matter. Teams got to go out and stop it. It is what it is. So I like this. I like this offensive identity that Brian Schottenheimer is trying to. Because the thing is, we didn't know what to expect offensively from Brian Schottenheimer. And we're starting to get answers. Now, is this the full playbook? No. Is this the full course meal? Absolutely not. But we're starting to get answers, and I think that's exciting. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but Dak to Ferg is back. And I know Sky will be happy about this, and he'd probably be proud of me that I'm talking about it. But just seeing that connection, hearing that Ferg has lost weight, seeing Dak zip the ball to him, under center play action. The thing about it is when you run play action from under center, again, changes the linebackers' angles. It stops them for a while. Their depth has to be correct. They got to make sure they get to their drops, and it all looks the same. So you're marrying the run with the pass. You know, the cool thing about Ferguson is he's groovy in space, man. He really is. He knows how to get behind linebackers. He knows how to run routes. This is your receiver 3. So the fact that he looks like he's back to himself, the fact that Dak is back out there, you know, facilitating the ball to him, I think that that's really cool. And you just hope that he stays healthy. Like, you need this offense for it to really hit, because we already see in 2 days, Pickens is going to be one of them. George Pickens is going to be one of them. But you see Ferguson, if you can continue to get some of that, now we cooking with grease. And speaking of George Pickens, man, there was a play, and we're going to get to Ceedee Lamb, but there was a play that Ceedee just looked crazy on a screen. Like, and again, that play came off motion. How about that? It all comes together. But after the play, as the play was going on, you see George Pickens down the field throwing blocks. You see George Pickens excited to be in the play. Like, stuff like that, you see that this isn't fake. He knows that he's with the dog, alpha, and he wants to be a part of that in any way possible. And Dak's getting him the ball. He's getting him involved early. They ran another stop route today. Just like simple things to get him touches early, get him going early. He's more than a deep ball receiver, and people are going to see that. Speaking of Ceedee, I think that what he said about the media games is really cool. Let's listen to it.
Micah's going through a very similar situation you went through last year. What's been kind of your message of support for him and being there for him?
For Mike, man, Mike knows I love him, and being in this situation, obviously playing this media game with Jerry is not the best. It's not fun. It's not recommended. Yeah. But as for Micah, he knows what he brings to this table, honestly, for this team, for himself, and he should get what he deserves. And I'm not indulging in any of the craziness that they got going, but I do want Micah to get paid soon.
You're not going to win the media games with Jerry, and to me, it's all silliness. Micah's going to get paid. Trevon Diggs and Micah holding a State of the Union with the reporters. Doesn't matter. Like, this is all part of Jerry's. I don't even know if it's his game. I mean, they ask Jerry questions because they know that Jerry will give answers. But these answers are really just feeding the media's pen. That's all it is. And I know Micah is real and he's stand-up and he has his podcast, but, I mean, it just, some of it just doesn't matter, you know? When you're in negotiating, sometimes it's best to say nothing. Sometimes the best response is no response. I'm telling you, like, silence really kills people. You don't want to play? Don't show up. It's simple. So that was, I thought that was a step for Ceedee in the way of leadership, because I think he's spot on there. This one is also interesting, man. Kair Elam, he keeps building. He had a pick. He's been sticky in coverage. I don't want to get too excited because we've seen this story before with guys. They have a good training camp and then they fall off a bridge in game, right? And against the Eagles, it'll be totally different, but it's good to see that he's around the ball making plays. And then I'm going to end with Joe Milton again, man. He's making throws. He has some good throws to Trayshawn Holden in breakers, in rhythm. 1, 2, 3, ball out, zipping the ball there. And then he had a really good second level, like, over concept to Brevin Spanford. And that ball to me was like, man, Joe Milton has some real arm strength. And I know there's people, oh, Foots, you don't like Dak. Let me explain this. I want to explain this one more time because people are nuts. It's not that I don't like Dak. I don't want the season to be railroaded again with a terrible backup quarterback. So when the backup looks good, I'm going to be excited. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing? If you don't like the fact that I'm excited that we have a good backup quarterback, that's just crazy work to me. So, day 2, training camp. I was about to say mini camp. No, training camp is here. Pads will be on Sunday, so that'll be a great recap. But I'm going hard, man, for you guys. I'm giving you guys updates every day. Like I said, Voch is sending me film. It's cool, man. I'm going to have him on the show. I'm actually going to have Patrick Nosey Walker on the show. I'm gonna have some people on the show for you all. Let's keep getting this information. Dang, you think about it, the first preseason game is August 8th. Football is back, y'all. Football is back. It's your boy, Mr. King. I love you all. Peace.